It's time to get the small block out of the Nova. Stick around. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage, and the big day is here. We're pulling the small block out today, and I've got most of the stuff ready to go already. As you can see, we're pretty much ready to pull. I need to take the drive shaft out, pull the transmission cross member because we're going to try and pull it as an assembly. All the wiring's unhooked, except for the starter, you know, one bolt there, and then drop the power steering pump, move it out of the way so we don't have to unhook the power steering lines. But other than that, the Nova is ready to have the small block removed, and then what we'll do is look at getting the old wiring harness that is just don't get me started, get that out of here. So stick around, this should be fun. Pulling out the other one, nice and easy as designed. Got some tools sitting on it. No, I did not use the Sawzall to pull the old harness out, but the AEM harness is all right there. Couple quick connectors and it popped right out. So that was the goal from the start, and we're going to make it even easier on the next one whenever we go in with the bulkhead cannon plug connectors, replace all that stuff. So I've got to do the heater swap, go over to the big block style because the heater hoses go in where the heads are, so would not work. And then the other question is going to be whether or not we clear the master cylinder. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. I'll just replace it with a manual, because even this vacuum assisted one, the piston's a little bit too small, or big actually. I believe it's too big. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, the motor is out. As you can see, we lost a fender in the process. Had to get the cover for the blower motor off, as we talked about, so that's out of the way. That'll be on the way. We'll get that put back in and then get the fender and stuff all realigned back up. I'd like to have that in place for doing the wiring, and there's most of the wiring. That's the next work that we're going to start on. No big hurry there, we got plenty to do, but motor's out. It's getting a little crowded. Transmission's out, split. Got to get the torque converter pulled off so we can get the flex plate off, swap the flex plate over. We'll be using the same flex plate, different torque converter. Plenty to do. Big shout out to the father-in-law, Bill, coming to help me. Couldn't have done it without him. Okay, we are back on the big block getting the front drive ready to go. I needed to get a damper install tool on the way so I could do this. The big thing is you got to use one of those things, or you run the risk of stripping out your crank, because the bolt that goes in there isn't long enough. If you get a bolt that is long enough, you're going to do damage. So get the right tool, man. For the big blocks, these things, I think this is a big block, small block. In fact, it says on there big block, small block, and it's like 35 bucks. And it'll save you a lot of money and headache. Unfortunately, unlike the LS setup, this one just installs the LS, comes with the removal. But I think if you have an LS removal plate, it'll probably work with this. But let's see if we can get this crank installed. Get it on there good enough. We should be able to run this thing in. You want to get as many threads started as possible before you start cranking this thing down. Ha ha ha, cranking it down. Oh, trust me. Make sure you throw it on the ground. That always helps. So, flat face is going to go against your crank. Go ahead and run this thing as deep as possible here. And we're only probably going to be using these smaller threads, because I'm pretty sure it's a pretty small thread setup on these. But the big thing, as I said, is running as many threads in as possible. You want to seat that thing so it has a lot of surface area that it's pulling against. Okay, now we can start running the big nut down that's going to center and drive our pulley. Let me grab a big crescent. See if we can get by with just a 12-inch. Might need to go a little bit bigger. Okay, damper installer did break, and I've seen a lot of reviews online that this happens. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know that it's necessarily an issue with the tool. There's the part that broke off in the crank. Luckily, the threads in the crank were clean enough that I was able to just literally grab the end of this thing with a pair of needle nose and back them out. But what was going on is I don't have the flex plate on this thing, and so I was having to back up the front of this in order to run it down. And in doing so, as I'm pushing down on both sides, I think I just overloaded it. Probably would have happened if you used a flex plate lock and actually had it locked up on the backside. But the thing is, a 1/4 inch or so away from being home. So we should be able to go ahead and pull it down the rest of the way with a bolt in the thoughts that we have enough threads. We'll see. Oh yeah, we're gonna get 75% of the bolt in there. Should be fine because we're pretty much home. Not ideal, but it'll work. Yeah, there's no way to run this thing home without the flex plate being locked down. So I've got to get one of those coming. So we'll leave the front drive off until then, but we'll go ahead and throw our brackets on for our power steering pump and then for our alternator, because our alternator is actually sitting on the ground, so we can get it mounted up, ready to go. And then I've double checked that the new engine mounts fit in the brackets. We need to pull the old engine mounts out of the engine bay, put the new engine mounts in, and then we can set this thing down and bolt it down. That way we can start working on the headers. While their offerings for big blocks are a little bit limited, ICT Billet does make bracket kits for the alternator and power steering pump. This is the power steering pump setup here. The cool thing about it is, comes with a nice diagram, shows you the layouts, where the spacers go, all the bolts and stuff like that. So we'll work on just getting the main bracket in, and then we can come back in. The power steering pump's still in the car, and do the tensioning bracket after we get the power steering pump bolted up to it. Also appears to be a rear bracket. Oh, that'll already be on the block, and then we have a bolt and a spacer that goes on there. So we'll put the rear bracket and the front bracket on the block, which consists of these two. This is our tensioning bracket, and then we have our hardware. Getting our power steering pump bracket on there made me realize we haven't put our pointer on yet, which we should probably go ahead and do that while we got everything out of the way. Luckily, we don't have the crank pulley all the way on, or the dampener all the way on, so we can get to this back bolt. Probably would be a little bit more of a pain in the butt, and then it would also probably have, well, maybe this is the right sided Allen wrench. This is my modified Allen wrench for getting in on the back side of the intake manifold on the Super Auto. We're going with a Milodon pointer, so it should fit right up. Comes with a couple spacers. Should be about as easy as it comes to install, we'll see. And then it is adjustable, so we will have to adjust it and probably see if we can get a piston stop in on it so we can figure out where we're at. The problem with a big block Chevy is the spark plug holes are at an angle that a lot of piston stops don't work on them, and so it can be hard to find true top dead center whenever setting your pointer. Got a lot of stuff that we need to get out of here, like the old fuel line, but we need to pop these mounts off, and the other mounts actually move the engine forward about 1 inch, and then this side is going to be lower. And I think that side may be the same height, but the whole idea is it not only moves the engine forward 1 inch to help clear the firewall, but it also moves it over a little bit to help clear the steering box. So let's see if we can get these out.